Hello Golden State Warriors fans, we are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything. Draymond Green recalls hilarious moment amid Warriors' shocking DeMarcus Cousins signing. In terms of surprising off-season moves in the last decade, few can compare to the Golden State Warriors' acquisition of DeMarcus Cousins in the 2018 free agency. Cousins was coming off 4 consecutive All-Star appearances, while the Warriors had won 3 championships in the same period. Even though Cousins was recovering from an Achilles injury, the thought of him joining Golden State was almost unimaginable. Yet, that's exactly what happened. When news broke that Cousins had signed a 1-year, $5.3 million contract, the NBA world was thrown into a frenzy, as the Warriors assembled one of the most star-studded rosters in history. Draymond Green and DeMarcus Cousins recently reflected on this shocking move during the latest episode of Green's podcast. Cousins shared how the deal came to be, dismissing rumors that his previous team, the New Orleans Pelicans, had offered him a contract after his injury. In fact, it was Cousins and his agent who reached out to the Warriors, leading to a hilarious interaction between then-general manager Bob Myers and Green. As Green recounted, he was vacationing in Greece when he received a panicked call from Myers, who had just learned about the potential signing of Cousins. Having had a few on-court altercations with Cousins in the past, Myers was anxious to know what Green thought about adding the former 5th overall pick to the roster. "I said, number 1, Bob, this isn't a problem, not at all," Green recalled, referencing their past encounters. "Number 2, Bob, if you can get DeMarcus Cousins, you get DeMarcus Cousins, period." Cousins made his Warriors debut on January 18, 2019, scoring 14 points and grabbing 6 rebounds before fouling out in 15 minutes against the LA Clippers. He went on to play 30 games in the remainder of the regular season, averaging 16.3 points, 8.2 rebounds, 3.6 assists, 1.3 steals, and 1.5 blocks per game. Unfortunately, Cousins became a symbol of Golden State's disastrous luck in the 2019 postseason, suffering a quad tear early in Game 2 of their first-round series against the Clippers. He returned for the NBA Finals, but the Warriors couldn't overcome the devastating injuries to Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson, losing the series 4-2 to the Toronto Raptors. Cousins' misfortune continued when he tore his ACL during the 2019 offseason. The 34-year-old played just 89 more regular season games before his NBA career came to a disappointing end. NBA Analyst makes bold prediction about Warriors' off-season additions. A series of off-season moves has sparked significant debate about the Golden State Warriors' potential next season, especially following the departure of franchise legend Klay Thompson. Thompson's move to the Dallas Mavericks creates an intriguing dynamic. How much will the Warriors' identity be impacted by his absence, and how much will they miss his on-court skills, which have understandably declined after 2 severe leg injuries? John Hollinger believes Warriors' new additions could outperform Klay Thompson next season. Many believe the Warriors have improved after their off-season maneuvers, including John Hollinger of The Athletic. In a recent article, the 53-year-old analyst suggested that Golden State made the best of Thompson's departure and avoided a potential pitfall by not overpaying the 5-time All-Star. Instead of overpaying a declining player for nostalgia, the Warriors bet on 2 different players, Buddy Hield and Kyle Anderson, who together will earn less than Thompson and a random minimum contract guy, Hollinger wrote. There's a strong chance that each of them individually could contribute more to the Warriors than Thompson would have. There is widespread belief that the sum of the Warriors' offseason, essentially Hield, Anderson, and DeAnthony Melton replacing Thompson, Chris Paul, and Dario Saric, has made them a stronger team heading into the next season. However, Hollinger's assertion that Hield and Anderson will be more valuable to the franchise than Thompson is particularly bold and noteworthy. His claim that Hield is a defensive upgrade over Thompson is intriguing, especially considering that Hield has never recorded a positive defensive box plus-minus in any of his 8 seasons, and his career high in defensive win shares is just 1.6. To put this in perspective, no fewer than 9 Warriors players, including Thompson, recorded at least 1.6 defensive win shares last season. The Warriors hope Hollinger is right, as all 3 major offseason additions are set to play significant roles in Steve Kerr's rotation. Whether these moves will not only compensate for Thompson's departure but also make the team considerably better remains to be seen. Should the Warriors follow their Pacific rivals' lead for greater flexibility in free agency? At this stage of the offseason, any roster move in the NBA garners attention, given the typically slow news cycle in late August. One of the most intriguing developments came from the Golden State Warriors' fierce rival, the Phoenix Suns, who recently waived two players, Nasser Little and E.J. Liddell, as reported by Shams Charania of The Athletic earlier this week. The Suns' decision is particularly notable regarding Little, a consistent 20-minute-per-game player during his 2-year stint with the Portland Trail Blazers before his first and only season in Phoenix. While Charania mentions the Suns' eagerness to give more playing time to rookies Ryan Dunn and Oso Ighodaro, the most intriguing aspect of this move is that it creates flexibility for the franchise to pursue another veteran minimum player in the free agent market. Should the Golden State Warriors follow the Suns' lead and create space to target another free agent? As things currently stand, the Warriors lack the same flexibility to pursue additional players for their roster. With 14 players under contract, they technically have an open roster spot, but their limited position against the first tax apron effectively rules out any new signings. There are ways for Golden State to change this. The simplest would be to waive Gueye Santos, whose non-guaranteed $1.9 million deal could free up space. Given that the cap for a veteran minimum player is just under $2.1 million, this would create enough room to make a signing feasible. Another option would be for the Warriors to orchestrate a trade with the Detroit Pistons, who have the capacity to absorb a contract. However, Golden State would likely need to add additional assets to entice Detroit, making it unlikely unless the free agent target is truly worth the effort. Assuming that waiving Santos is the most realistic option, is this a move the Warriors should make? Isaac Okoro might be the best available player, but as a restricted free agent, acquiring him would be complicated. Other notable names include Markelle Fultz, Lonnie Walker IV, and Sadie Osman. All these players would likely contribute more than Santos next season. Fultz, in particular, could be an ideal candidate, offering another playmaking option alongside Stephen Curry and Brandon Podziemski. However, given the Warriors' already deep rotation, there may not be enough upside to justify the move. Santos' contract doesn't become fully guaranteed until January 10, so the Warriors have ample time to make a decision if needed. Until then, it seems highly likely that the current roster will be the one they take into the season, barring any unexpected trades. ESPN's predictable take on the Warriors' position in the Western Conference. After a season where the Golden State Warriors won 46 games but failed to secure a playoff spot, the NBA's Western Conference is set to become even more competitive, with nearly every team vying for a playoff berth. Despite significantly slashing their payroll during the offseason, the Warriors' ambitions remain unchanged, as they continue to build a contender around their 36-year-old superstar, Stephen Curry. However, few believe that Golden State will be a serious contender next season, unless they pull off a major trade or see unexpected leaps in development from young players like Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski. ESPN's analysts offer a predictable forecast for the Warriors in the Western Conference. ESPN's projections, released on Thursday, paint a familiar picture. The Warriors are not expected to be in the thick of the championship race. The Oklahoma City Thunder, Minnesota Timberwolves, Denver Nuggets, and Dallas Mavericks are projected to form the top tier of the conference, each expected to win at least 52 games. This leaves Golden State in a cluster of teams, 8, to be exact, projected to win between 43 to 49 games. The Phoenix Suns are predicted to finish 5th with 49 wins, while another Pacific Division rival, the Sacramento Kings, are slated to avoid the play-in tournament with 47 wins. The New Orleans Pelicans are projected to win 46 games, while the Warriors' 45 wins place them just ahead of the Memphis Grizzlies, Houston Rockets, and Los Angeles Lakers, each expected to finish with a 44-38 record. The LA Clippers, having lost All-Star forward Paul George in free agency, are projected to slip to 12th place in the conference with a 43-39 record. Although the Warriors are predicted to win one fewer game than last season, these projections place them 8th in the West, giving them 2 potential opportunities in the play-in tournament if needed. None of these projected records are particularly surprising, and an 8th-place finish in the West seems like a safe and balanced prediction for the Warriors. With 8 teams in such a tight range between 5th and 12th, placing Golden State in the middle of the pack is a logical conclusion, as was similarly forecasted last week.